What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Barbells and Trails podcast. I'm your host, Brett, back with episode 17. 17, guys. That means we're making progress. I don't know what toward, but 20, we're almost there. That's cool. I don't know if that's necessarily a milestone, but 50 definitely is, or 52, because that means we've done a year consistently, which would be awesome. I would let you guys know that we could hit it quicker, at least that number quicker, if I would happen to possibly get a co-host, and once I get the studio finished, decided to do 2 episodes a week. I would consider doing that eventually, depending. So we'll kind of see on that one. But other than that, we're working our way through. I hope you guys are enjoying. Did get gain one subscriber on YouTube, so it's slow growth, but I'm not going to complain. Every subscriber, every view, every listen, it all adds up towards something. So we're here, we're rolling. But I guess let's do kind of a little recap of last week. I hope you guys did enjoy last week's episode on Wim Hof. The one thing I will say that I didn't necessarily notice until after I finished recording was I was very monotone. As you can tell, I'm a little more energetic today, but I realized that it was a very, very monotone recording, and I am sorry about that. But to give you guys context, I was recording that, and it was like midnight or later, and that might not seem that crazy, but for me that's kind of late. Like, I can stay up that late, but on like a weeknight and stuff like that, that's not normal. I got like 5 hours of sleep that night, and I am not that type of person. I at least need a good 7 or more. So being up, I was up till like 1:20 that night working on the podcast, because I was going to record last Monday, but I had not quite finished the book. I had like 15, 20 pages left. I was like, man, I really just want to go ahead and finish the book before I record so I can finish it out and feel more accomplished. So I pushed it off till the next night. And by the time I had the reading done and did some other stuff that night and other shit going on and recorded, and then got everything processed and uploaded and scheduled for Wednesday like normal, it was fairly late. So yeah, when I was recording, I was kind of tired, and so it came out very monotone. I hope you guys did enjoy. I found the topic very interesting. I mean, I've had an interest in Wim Hof for a while, so being able to actually finish his book was pretty cool, and it's interesting. I know that there are a lot of skeptics, and he talks about that in the book, which I do encourage anybody to read, or at least to download his app and kind of listen to him talk, or even watch the Yes Theory video to kind of get an idea of him as a person a little bit. It is very intriguing, and I was like, well, I'm curious about it. I think the human body is quite fascinating, and the stuff we can do is quite amazing, and I definitely, some of his philosophies of as human society, like recently kind of just being dumbed down in the sense of we don't see or feel discomfort anymore as a species when we used to every single day of our lives in some form or another, just because of buildings and air conditioning and heating and not dealing with the cold, never dealing with hunger, never dealing with a lot of stuff like that. It kind of allows our body just to kind of become, I don't necessarily know the right word for it, but it's very similar to stuff I've listened to David Sinclair talk about, where it has been shown to it's been shown to lower your whoa, my brain works faster than my mouth sometimes. You can lower your fucking hell, I'm so sorry, biological age just by fasting and cold exposure. So being in a slight discomfort. So there's already been plenty of other studies done in other realms that kind of point towards there being some sort of there being some truth to his statements. And I am fascinated with David Sinclair's work. His stuff was really, really cool. I've listened to him talk on Joe Rogan before. I'm definitely going to read his book. I thought he had a book, and I just found the title of it the other day. I got a lot of books I really want to read. Today I actually just started listening to, 12, Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, I think. Is that right? Yeah, 12 Rules for Life. An Antidote to Chaos. I've heard about it. I've listened to Jordan Peterson talk. So I'm very intrigued by this book. I feel like it kind of will be, just giving you guys a heads up, it probably will be the topic for next week a little bit. So it's like 15 hours in the book. So I got a lot of listening and reading to do this week. But I'm down. It seems really good, and him being a philosopher and just some of the stuff he talks about, it's kind of like, whoa. I like his stuff. I mean, I got a quote on the Instagram from him as a post, and speaking of the Instagram, I'm sorry, I have not posted like at all. I'm terrible at this. My routine the past couple of weeks has been kind of gnarly for me. Like I said, I'm not one to stay up late, and not last week, but the week before, basically every week I was up till midnight and still trying to get up at a decent time and work on stuff with the studio and do like painting and building furniture and hanging out with Bailey and doing stuff. Because Bailey was leaving for college soon, which we'll talk about that here in a minute. And doing stuff with that my schedule and routine was kind of just tossed in the air a bit. And then with Noah being home, went out with him on his 21st, which I would have loved to have him on before he left, but I did not have the equipment to necessarily record us both like I would have preferred. I didn't want to necessarily record like me and Bailey had to when she was on. But I mean, I'll probably talk. Yeah, fuck it. I'm going to say a little bit. I definitely want to talk about it when Noah's on. I'm definitely going to have him on when he comes home this December. But so we went out on his birthday the other Friday, and Noah drank. I mean, it's his 21st, so yes, he drank. But he's kind of always been a lightweight. I know if he listens to this, he's gonna like throw hands with me, but he's always been a lightweight. He really has. Anytime we've ever drank in the past, even though we would always match whatever we've drank, because I'm always the type, depending on the person, like I want to stay with everybody else at one point. Like I don't want to necessarily be super far behind or completely gone compared to everybody else. So I try following the trends of how much other people are drinking a little bit. And so whenever we would drink in the past and we would always match like shot for shot or whatever it was we were drinking. And no matter what, by the end of it, him compared to me, he was always gone in comparison, which is always hilarious. He gets very lovey-dovey and likes to hug, but so he definitely did better than he would have in the past with his drinking Friday night, but it hit him really hard. The bartender and some of the people he was with was not going easy on him when it came to the amount they were giving him to drink. So it hit him very hard, and I had to help take him home. It did not go well. let's just say he basically lost motor function. He was blackout drunk, but might talk about more of those stories when he's on and kind of walk through it a little more, just because I know he doesn't remember a whole lot of it. But so that happened the other weekend, and so it's been an interesting couple weeks. So trying to get back into a routine this week is kind of my goal. When it comes to doing stuff for the podcast, when it comes to just doing personal stuff for me, getting back in the gym. I switched gyms, so I'm gonna start going there and get back on the grind like everybody needs to, and I want to start doing the Wim Hof method, like the full method, every day. So trying to do that. Like, I've been taking cold showers, or at least having some form of cold shower. Even some of them were very long or kind of piss poor. I've at least been in cold water in the shower now for like 2 weeks straight, at least once a day. So I'm trying to make that a habit. And then not only that, do the breathing. So I did the breathing this morning before I really did too much, and I did it. And like he said in the book, I felt way better in the cold than I do when I don't do the breathing. I could tell. I was like, man, this isn't bothering me as much. It's like, no wonder. But I was like, man, I really need to start doing the breathing first. But I definitely want to do like an ice bath. I've never done an ice bath yet, so that's something I want to do eventually. So it's always fun. So I'm trying to get on track with that and figure stuff out. I kind of have all the equipment picked out. Well, there's a few little things, but most of the equipment I need for the podcast when it comes to major stuff. So I kind of need to do that. Reconfigure my desk in the other room and organize all my cables, and because it's fairly organized if you guys would see it, but it is not great. I know some people that are into this kind of stuff would be extremely disappointed, but hey, I gotta do what I gotta do, and we're gonna figure it out, and I'm gonna transfer all that over. But I have all the equipment basically picked out. I definitely just need to purchase it and kind of put it together and chip away at it and get like the other mic and get the mic arms and start getting stuff slowly but surely put together, and then have a guest over. Because once I have it fully set up, I kind of want my first episode, when it's like fully up and running, to have a guest. So I'm going to try doing that for you guys. But so that's kind of a little bit of what happened last week with the episode and just how things have been going. But other than that, this happened the other day. Bailey is officially at college. Obviously, you guys don't know her that well. She was on for one episode, but my sister is officially moved in. So I went with them last Thursday to move her into college. So she is starting classes tomorrow. And yeah, I mean, it's weird. It's quiet. I say it's quiet, but she wasn't over here that much. So I think she'll be all right. But she's definitely a quiet type, and you guys could probably kind of tell from when she was on the podcast, like the first 5 minutes in particular, it took her a minute to kind of warm up and be a little more open and talk more. So hopefully college kind of helps her out with that, considering. But I think when she's home for college, I'll definitely have her on. I'm definitely gonna have Noah on. I'm hoping to have a decent. I say decent. Yeah, I'm hoping to have a decent handful of guests in December in particular. Once I get the studio put up, I will probably have more sooner, but definitely in December I will have a few. But other than that, something else that happened Thursday. I did not post about it. I probably should. I might throw a picture. I might throw a few of the videos up. tonight. I should just do it tonight. But I went, which I talked to you guys a few weeks ago. I went to the Machine Gun Kelly concert Thursday. It was absolutely amazing. Anyone that is local that's been to Rowoff or Deer Creek or whatever you know it as, it's had many names in the past. It was packed. It was an amazing concert. I was able to take someone from work. I had an extra ticket. Me and Riley was supposed to go, which you guys don't know Riley, but he will be on eventually. I think I'm going to have him be the first guest after the studio's finished. But, so he was supposed to go, couldn't, and I ended up having a friend from work go and his girlfriend come along too. So it was his second concert, her first ever concert, and it was absolutely amazing. I think there was like 17,000 people there or something, which is, for Rowoff, that is quite a lot. I don't know what the capacity is for that place. I think it's kind of, I can't say unlimited, but with it having like the big lawn amphitheater style, you can fit quite a bit. And I think this was his only, I don't know if it was only, but it was his first outdoor venue for this tour. And he said it was the most people too. Which, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he's just trying to stroke our egos because we were the ones there that night or what, but I looked up, like, when he was in Madison Square Garden, I didn't look up how many was there for him, but Madison Square Garden's capacity is like 19,000, so if he didn't sell it out, I guess, yeah, maybe we did have the largest number of people, but it was awesome. He had a skit going on for the concert and had like a storyline going through the whole performance and stuff like that, where like he talked about how the internet put him in a box and all this shit, and he had a makeshift fake helicopter that come down. I mean, people have probably seen some pictures from the concerts, but so he like was on the ladder and sang his first song hanging off a rope ladder from a fake helicopter and stuff like that, and he put on an amazing performance. His band was absolutely amazing. It was such a good show. It really was. I had a great time. I can't wait to see him come through again, because next time he's here, I have to go. Like, I don't like spending a lot of money at like concerts or doing stuff like that all the time. Just yesterday I was looking at Post Malone tickets, and he's coming in October, and it is a different venue, but so like there is actual seats, but even to get like nosebleeds, cheapest seats available that I could find at the moment, it was saying $141. And for me, I could afford it, but I don't want to spend that much money. It's like I would love to go see performances and see people in concert, but when it's that expensive, it's just a little much, me personally, especially for like nosebleeds. If it's like $60, yeah, but for something like that, like I think one of the highest tickets I saw for Post was like $3,000. Woo, that's a little, and I think that's just down by the stage. That's ridiculous. I can't believe people actually pay that. Me personally, I mean, like, I love Post Malone. I love music, and concerts are awesome. I love the whole vibe and atmosphere of them, probably more than anything. But sometimes I don't think that kind of stuff is worth $3,000. Me personally. So, but it was awesome. I mean, he came out into the crowd a little bit, and he came off the stage and did stuff, and he brought up two kids to come up on stage with him for a song, and and all this shit. And we had there was a full moon that night, and it was coming over the back of the concert, over the back of the venue, like on the top of the hill. It was crazy. I lost my voice for the most part. Surprisingly, it was fine Friday, but it was such a great concert. He played songs from Tickets to My Downfall. He played songs from Hotel Diablo, which I was not expecting, which was sick because it's like, as a fan, I find that awesome because I wanted to go see him last year, but at the time when I looked at tickets, for some reason, lawn tickets were like $160. I was like, I cannot pay $160 for lawn. I'm sorry. And so I didn't go, but him playing a couple songs then was cool. And then also like not seeing him perform Hotel Diablo, to see him perform a couple songs from that was awesome. Considering most artists play whatever album it is they're basically touring, and that's it. Most people I've ever seen kind of stick to the tour itself, and so for him to kind of bounce around, I found that really cool, to kind of be like, well, if you're an old fan, you didn't get to go to the concert, here's some of my older music that was really big, here's some of my bigger songs from some of my past albums. Or if you're a new fan and you've never really listened to these songs, here you go, here's a little hip hop and stuff like that. And the performances was just ridiculous. Like I don't even know how to explain it, but it was a lot of fun. I was gonna drink that night, and then when I went to go get liquor, when I went to go get a drink, I found out my license was expired. So no drinking for me that night, but I still had a great time. I'm trying to think what else happened. Oh, also I figured out, because I'm an idiot, if you guys listen to my Machine Gun Kelly if you listen to the Machine Gun Kelly episode, I called Travis Barker, I'm pretty sure Travis Baker, and it was all because of Colson Baker. And I think I saw Travis's name, saw Colson's name, and they were so similar, and I already looked at Colson's that I was like, I immediately looked at him and I was like, Baker. Didn't even see the R. I was like, wow, that's so weird. They have the same last name. What a weird coincidence. And I was just completely wrong. So Travis Barker was there that night too. He came out for, I think, 2 or 3 songs, which was amazing. Came out shirtless, fully tatted. At that point, I don't know if you can be considered shirtless when your whole torso is covered in tattoos. But he came out and played, I can't remember which songs, but the one song I do know that he played was they played a Blink-182 song. And I had a feeling, I was like, what if he's here, if Travis is here and he comes out and performs, they're definitely going to play a song. They ended up playing All the Small Things, which was really, really cool. And when he came out, found out that Travis had a broken thumb. So, and he was still drumming his heart out. And it was a really, really sick performance from it. So even though he did have a broken thumb, he was playing amazingly, which was ridiculous. But overall, it was really cool because Colson had such a really good chemistry with the audience, which is always great at a concert. I think that's one reason why I have such fond memories of seeing Logic. Between that and that being my first concert that I chose to go to and went on my own, and it was really cool with how he interacted with the crowd, and he talked to people and he made jokes, and he kind of found ways to get into the next songs, and some of it was definitely pre-written, but it was definitely really, really cool. Some of the stuff he did and just overall performance. I'm trying to think of anything else. I wasn't expecting some of the pyrotechnics, but it was just a great concert. Like I can't not say that enough. So if you are a Machine Gun Kelly fan, or if you're not, I recommend going and seeing, because my buddy from work wasn't necessarily a fan of Machine Gun Kelly. He just kind of he had listened to his music, but he wasn't necessarily a super big fan. His girlfriend was, and he, I think, was gonna go just because I had an extra ticket and hang out. So it was just kind of a combination of things that he decided to come. And at the end of it, he was like, I like him a lot more now, just from seeing how he like acted with the audience, how he acted with his band members, his overall performance. You got to see like his personality a bit, and it was really cool. And when they did finally finish out the concert, he kind of stayed on stage for probably like 5-10 minutes, just kind of watching everybody slowly disperse and just kind of taking it in before he finally like waved and walked out. But it was really, really cool. I think I'm probably gonna go to the Wiz Khalifa Logic concert here in 2 weeks, which is gonna be ridiculous. I don't know what Wiz will be playing. I don't listen to a lot of Wiz Khalifa, but he's just such a goat. It's like if I get an opportunity just to swing in and see it, yeah. And then Logic, because I have a pass with him, going to his concert, him being one of the main people I've listened to fairly consistently over the past like 4 or 5 years, and him finally going back on tour again after at least 2 years. So I think I'm probably going to go to that. His new album is so good, Vinyl Days. It's so different for the stuff I typically listen to. It's like very old school 90s 2000s hip hop, but it's really it really is good. Like there's no denying Logic's been in the game for a long time and is very good at what he does. But yeah, it was just such a great concert. So other than that, I'm trying to think. I got a few other things to talk about today. I was trying to come up with something that was different to kind of talk about, but I was having issues trying to think about it. What has happened in the past couple weeks? Oh, this was technically like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago now, but I didn't talk about it on the last stuff. Mr. Beast hit 100 million subscribers. I think, well, he's not the first to do that. I would say, I mean, PewDiePie was the first YouTuber to do it as like a single creator. Mr. Beast, I think, is the second, but he also has a team around him. But still, like, the stuff he's done is ridiculous. I've watched him for years now. I think I was subscribed around like 1 million, or I probably watched him around 1 million or before that, because I remember some of those old videos on the thumbnail. Some of them I didn't necessarily watch, but I remember seeing him because I had watched other videos of his. And then I think I had subscribed to him, probably it might have been around 1 million. So I was around him not very early, because I know he's been in YouTube and done it now for like 10 years technically, and he's made videos and done stuff, but he hasn't been mainstream. But 4 maybe was when he was really starting to come up. I think I remember when he started, or when I subscribed to him and started watching his content more often, he had, like I said, about 1 million subs roughly. He was in that range. And within, I think, 6 or 7 months, he was up to like 7 mil, which, well, maybe not that high. I think it was within a year he was up 7 or 8 mil. And at the time, I think that was like one of the fastest growing YouTube channels for single creator. And then from there, he just obviously kept growing. I mean, I think last year, 1 year, he grew. I don't even know. I think he's definitely one of the most fast growing channels ever. Just with the stuff he's done, and every month it seems like he's going up and up. So who knows? And that's only off of one channel. I think between all of his channels, I think he has over like 250 million subscribers, because he has a main channel, he has like philanthropy, he has Beast Gaming, he has Reacts, he has all these other channels. He has Mr. Beast in Espanol and like I think Portuguese, and they're working on Spanish or Japanese last time I knew, and a bunch of other shit. And it's like he's just trying to basically find any possible way to grow his overall audience. So, and it's crazy. And his video was really, really cool too, giving away a private island, which he's done before, but this one was a lot bigger, and you had to compete for it, and it was 100 people, all subscribers, and doing stuff like that. It was just the stuff he does blows my mind, and it's pretty interesting, just some of the stuff he does. But on other, I guess, YouTube topics, I know some of my listeners probably don't give a shit, but this is my life. This is my podcast, so I'll record what I want. KSI's fight is in 2 weeks. I really need to look. Alex Wasabi dropped out. He dropped out of the fight, so he is stuck fighting Swarms now. He thought they were going to cancel, but between him, Jake Paul's fight being canceled within the past 2 weeks, and I think another fight also being canceled, it's kind of crazy. I'm curious to see what happens with the fight in general. The video they posted for the fight poster was definitely terrible, because it does look like the guy is like half asleep, Swarms. And everybody's like, well, we don't know who this is. It's going to be stupid. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen. I think JJ's going to win. I mean, he looks amazing. I mean, he's lost like 40 pounds pretty much this year, which is crazy. And, well, almost 40 pounds, which is ridiculous. And it's interesting to see his transformation. I might watch it. I really don't know. It depends on when it is. And because it's in the UK, also trying to figure out what time. Because if it's, I mean, if it's on a, like, let's say Saturday night, it'd probably be like 4 o'clock here, roughly, depending on what time it starts. So it might not be terrible. It just depends. But other than that, I don't know if I have many other topics to talk about. I suck at this sometimes. I'm really sorry. It's so it's a challenge with one person, definitely, but I'm trying to do it, trying to figure it out. I think I might have someone on here soon just to change up the dynamic a little bit, but I was gonna, because it's easy for me to do, and I'm kind of interested because I've read a couple of these, but not a whole lot. I wanted to look into some of this week's news. So I get some of my stuff from Ride the News, which is an Instagram. I think they have a newsletter, but I follow their Instagram, and they're basically news without any political ties, and they just talk about whatever's in the news, and that's it. And yeah, that's about it. So this week, there's a few interesting ones. Yeah, okay, I got a couple. Got a couple here. All right. Okay, let's start off with our first little story. It's nothing crazy, but United puts up $10 million for flying taxis. United Airlines made $10 million down payment for 100 electric flying taxis. Archer Aviation, a California company, is developing the taxi electronic aircraft that can take off and land vertically like helicopters. The model purchased by United operates in cities and seats 4. United intends to debut the taxi or intends to distribute the taxis in 2 cities where it has hubs, initially charging $110 to $120 for a ride to the airport. Archer says it will cut airport travel times up to an hour to 5 minutes. That was very bad English, and I don't think that was me. I think that's how it's written. Yeah. From an hour to 5 minutes. Archer expects to gain FAA certification by late 2024 and begin commercial operations soon after. I mean, that's cool, but I don't know how you do that. Well, I mean, most buildings, I guess, in major cities do have helipads. That's interesting. It's different. I don't know. I mean, that could work. I don't know. I feel like I get the convenience of it, but I don't know how big something like that could necessarily become. It's really hard to know. I'd be curious. We might find out in 4 or 5 years how crazy it is. But okay, story number 2. Canada's on pace to spend 200 million Canadian dollars on medical marijuana for veterans this year. Studies suggest marijuana can help treat anxiety, chronic pain, and PTSD. Canada has reimbursed veterans for medical marijuana purchases since 2008. Since 2016, it has reimbursed purchases up to 3 grams a day at Canadian $8.50 a gram. This year, reimbursements will be 30% higher than 2021 and 135% higher than 2019. In the United States, which considers weed a Schedule I drug, similar policies are illegal. In 2018, Canada became the second country to legalize weed after Uganda. What? Not Uganda, Uruguay. I'm such a blonde sometimes. I'm sorry. U.S. inflation cooling. Story number 3. Year-over-year inflation in July was 8.5%, a drop from the 41-year high 9.1 recorded in June. Average prices in July were no higher than in June, largely due to falling energy prices, which including drops in the prices of gas and other highly volatile goods. Prices were 0.3% higher in July than June. Between June and July, gas prices fell 7.7%. Airfare, used cars, apparel prices also fell. Rents, grocery prices, and restaurant prices continued to rise. I don't like those. I would prefer if those dropped. Inflation was less than economists had forecasted, giving some hope that price hikes may be slowed. Stocks surged on the news. I hope so. Many teens almost consistently on social media. I feel like this article might be calling me out. I gotta change that. I've been trying to work on that. A Pew poll found that 35% of 13 to 17-year-old teens almost constantly use social media. 19% of 13 and 17-year-olds say they almost constantly use YouTube. 16% say the same for TikTok, 15% for Snapchat, and 10% for Instagram, 2% for Facebook. 95% of 13 to 17-year-olds use smartphones. The survey found 95% regularly use YouTube, the most of any platform. TikTok is 65 or 67, Instagram 62%, Snapchat 59 were the next most used platforms. Despite heavy use, 55% of teens say the amount of time they spend on social media is about right. 37 say they spent too much. 8 say too little. 8% say too little. I feel like I'm definitely on the too high, and that's my bad, but it is what it is. I'm trying to cut back. I need to definitely set screen time stuff, but that, we move on that one. Another thing that happened in the news recently, which makes a lot of sense. Disney has surpassed Netflix in subscribers, logging 121 million to Netflix's 221 million to Netflix's 220.7 million. Disney Stream's portfolio, which includes Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus, gained 14.4 million subscribers from April to June, well above 10 million analysts expected. Well above the 10 million they expected. Netflix lost 1 million over that same period. Some believe that Disney's library, which includes Star Wars, Marvel, current cable TV shows, and sports, gives it a long-term edge over Netflix. This week, Disney Plus announced that its $8 basic service will now run ads. The cheapest ad-free service will cost $11, 38% more than before. Disney's trying to get a little bit of extra cash on the side there, guys. And then not only that, last but not least, lawsuits put pharma in trouble. Major pharma corporations have lost $40 billion in value due to investors' concerns over impending Zantac lawsuits. Zantac, an over-the-counter heartburn drug, was one of the best-selling medicines since 1980s. It was pulled from U.S. shelves in 2019 after studies found it may produce unacceptably high levels of chemicals if exposed to heat, increasing cancer risks. 2,000 plus personal injury cases are now pending against the companies that marketed and sold the drug, including GCK, Sanofi, and Pfizer. The pharma companies say the evidence overwhelmingly shows that Zantac didn't increase cancer risk, which, of course, they're going to say that. There was one more thing I wanted to show you guys that I thought was really crazy, but kind of makes sense. EU rethinks lavender oil. The EU has proposed reclassifying lavender oil as harmful substance. Lavender oil is an essential oil used to calm nerves and improve mood. The move is in response to new studies that show lavender oil may alter hormone levels and increase cancer risk. If the EU classifies the oil as hazardous, it will be labeled with skull and crossbones. The planned change is prompting a backlash in France, where the lavender industry generates 26,000 jobs. The EU says the rules will protect people and the planet. Farmers say they're discriminatory. I feel like the farmers probably need to get their head out of their ass a little bit. I mean, I get it's their jobs, but there has been other studies to show that there are certain plants and certain stuff used in like lotions and shit like that does have an effect on hormone levels in men, especially in young men in particular. And a recent story that kind of shows that is, I think this was like maybe a month ago. I think there was a 2 or 3 year old, maybe it's 3 or 4, somewhere around that age, got in the news because he has almost as high testosterone levels as an adult male, if not, I think higher. I think it's about the same. So this kid is 3 or 4, and he has pubic hair. He's shredded and has a shit ton of extra muscle mass. He's tall for his age, and he's already hit puberty at that age. And the whole reason being was because the father, without knowing it, was using a testosterone replacement cream or lotion to basically help him with his testosterone as he gets older, and without realizing was subsequently getting into his son's system and raising his testosterone. And there's also stuff where there's certain lotions have been found in women's lotion that has affected males in a negative way, where they've raised estrogen and thrown off hormones. And one of the main issues with like certain health issues and other stuff is hormone balance. So if something like that's off, I mean, yeah, it can cause a lot of effects. The body doesn't run optimally. So I have some lavender in my room that I've used for a diffuser. I guess I'm not going to use that anymore, but that was interesting. Okay, so I know I've kind of bullshitted this episode through a little bit, and that's just how it's been. I'm sorry. But last but not least, the last thing we're going to go through today is going to be a couple fun facts. Because like we've talked about in all of them, I am a child and I love facts. So we're going to end this off. I've almost went through everything on this page. So I don't think we got a lot more from this website itself, but I got a couple. All right, so let's start this off. Fact number 1, the word fizzle started as a type of fart. In the 1400s, it meant to break wind quietly, according to English Oxford Living Dictionaries. Fact number 2, I feel like everybody knows this one. I'm still going to say it. Human noses and ears get bigger as we age. It's pretty common to see the claim that our nose and ears are the only parts of our body that keep growing as we age, but it's not exactly true. Our noses and ears stop growing along with the rest of our body, but thanks to the weight of gravity, both parts continue to lengthen over time. Oh. Well, that makes sense. No, I didn't realize that was a reason. I've always heard it kept growing. Fact number 3, no number before 1,000 contains the letter A. That makes sense. Wow. Never would have guessed. The hashtag symbol isn't officially called hashtag or pound. Its technical name is Octathorpe. What? Octathorpe. Octo means 8, reference to its points, though reports disagree on whether Thorpe came from or where it came from. Some claims the name is a Olympian Jim Thorpe, which argues it was just a nonsense suffix. What? Okay. It's known as hashtag and pound. Sorry, that was not a good fact. Fact number 4. The French have their own name for a French kiss. Something extra interesting about this kissing fact, the word hasn't been around long. In 2014, Galischer, meaning to kiss with tongue, was added to Petit Robert French Dictionary. Oh, so they do. Well, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, French fries, they don't call French fries, do they? Oh, I don't know. Never been to France. Fact number 5. You can thank the Greeks for calling Christmas Xmas. In Greek, the word for Christ starts with the letter CHI, which looks like an X in the Roman alphabet. if you're fat. Wow, I mean, that makes sense. Xmas. I thought that was just a random way to like shorten the word. I didn't know that actually had some like fact behind it or a truth. That's interesting. Fact number 6: movie trailers originally played before the movie. What? Wait. Originally. Oh, after the movie. Sorry. They trailed the feature film, hence the name. The first trailer appeared in 1912 and was for a Broadway show, not a movie. I mean, okay. Makes sense, I guess. Fact 7, sorry. Mercedes invented a car controlled by a joystick. The joystick in the 1966 Mercedes F200 showcase car controlled speeds and direction, replacing both the steering wheel and the pedals. The car could also sense which side the driver was sitting in, so someone could control it from the passenger seat. That's kind of weird. Fact 8. H&M actually stands for something. This is one of those interesting facts you've probably never thought about before. The clothing retail shop was originally called Hennes. Hennes, Swedish for hers, before acquiring the hunting and fishing equipment brand Mutzel Wildfers. Originally, Hennes and what? Oh, I suck in English. Hennes and Moltes was shortened to H&M. Huh. Would have never known. Fact number 9. The U.S. government saved every public tweet from 2006 to 2017. Starting in 2018, the Library of Congress decided to only keep tweets on a very selective basis, including elections and those dealing with something of national interest like public policy. That's kind of weird. I never had Twitter, so they don't have any of my tweets. I feel like I might have heard this one before, but I'm not sure. Maybe I didn't. Fact 10. This might be the last one unless I see one that's really, really cool. Theodore Roosevelt had a pet hyena. Its name was Bill, and it was a present from the Ethiopian emperor. Roosevelt was famous for his many pets, including a one-legged rooster, a badger, a pony, and a small bear. And not only did he have an interest in unusual animals, but bizarre pets as well. That's crazy. That's what? I mean, I've heard that he's had weird stuff. I feel like everybody knows this one. Giraffes' tongues can be 20 inches long. And then we'll do one more. The CIA headquarters has its own Starbucks, but baristas don't write names on the cups. Okay. Its receipts say store number 1 instead of Starbucks, and its workers need an escort to leave their work posts. There's a Starbucks in the FBI headquarters? What? Wow. That I would not have guessed that. I don't know why. I guess, everybody needs a little bit of coffee. They might need to pick me up in the day, and who better than federal agents? So, they need their coffee too. Okay, everybody, but I think that will do it for this episode. Hopefully, I will be doing an episode about Jordan Peterson's book next week, and I will hopefully have a guest on here in the coming weeks. So keep your guys' ears peeled. I will hopefully be posting more on Instagram for you. Then we'll go from there, and I will see you guys all next week. Peace out, everybody.